Hello and welcome to Cookery with Mason Storm. Today we're going to be making some grog, which is kind of a traditional pirate drink. They didn't just drink straight rum all the day because that tastes terrible. So they would either dilute it with water or whatever just to get it to go a little bit further. So I have some ice, and I'm going to be using Canadian whiskey instead of rum. And I'm going to be using maple syrup, which they probably didn't have at the time. They would add some other funky syrups or just did rum and water. And of course, there's our water. I like to use my filtered water because it tastes delicious. The butter is not going to be used, however. So we're going to start off with our shot of our Canadian whiskey. Now, this is one of those drinks that, I make it at parties and everybody's always wondering how I make it, and I explain it and nobody seems to understand anything at all, but that's okay. I thought I'd make a video on how to do this, and that way everyone can make this for themselves and try it out. It's quite delicious. So we're simply going to add in our measured out amount of whiskey into our cup, trying to spill as little as possible onto the table because that's just no good. And we're going to be doing the same thing with our maple syrup. Now the thing with your Canadian syrup is that, one shot is usually good enough. And depending on what type of rum or whiskey you're going to be mixing this with, you might want a little bit more. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to add a little bit more, about a quarter shot, just a little bit of a kiss in the cup. And it just kind of brings the whole thing to life. I think that's kind of, my little secret when I come to making these things. And there we go, adding that right in. Now I like to mix my stuff early and multiple times because syrup is so thick, and usually your syrup's refrigerated depending on the type of syrup. It doesn't mix very well. Shaking it, a good alternative to doing the classical mixing method, but mixing it before you add the ice I think helps a lot as well. So now let's get some ice going. This is just standard issue conventional ice. It's not the Egyptian invisible kind. I would like to do a video on that someday, but for now we're going to have to make do with our standard issue ice. We're simply going to fill our glass, giving it a kind of a stir as we go, just for fun. Adding a little bit more ice. There we go. Looks fantastic. Top it off with some water. And here we go. We have ourselves a nice drink. Of course, we're going to need to continuously mix this. And because it's so cold, it doesn't mix the easiest. So you really got to go to town to get it to combine. But once it's done, there you go. You have yourselves a nice, easy, delicious drink that you can show off to your friends at the party. And when you're at the party, you need to stay awesome. So please hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Although I don't really focus on alcohol stuff, so you may be disappointed.